Hey guys, it's Bailey and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a tutorial inspired by Princess Jasmine, specifically her signature teal wardrobe and her pronounced cat eye. I've partnered up with London SOHO New York and I'm going to be using some of their new brushes and sponges from their Disney Princess collection, so let's get started. So the first thing I did here was prime my eyes with NYX's HD High Def Eyeshadow Base. Use my finger to blend that out. Next I'm going in with an e.l.f. Flawless Eyeshadow Quad. This is the Quad Beautiful Browns, and I'm first using the base shade, and I'm applying that using the fluff brush from the Jasmine Exotic Eye Brush set. You can find these sets exclusively at Walgreens or walgreens.com for between $9.99 and $14.99, but I also have a $1 off coupon to use both online and in store, so be sure to look in the description below for that. Next, I'm using the same brush and I'm actually going into what is the lid shade from that palette, but I'm applying it in my crease. It's this great medium matte brown, so I'm using it as my best friend blending shade because I have such a bold shadow that I'm going to put on the lid. I need something to really help it transition into my crease and beyond, so that's what I'm using this for. I wanted to sharpen up the crease and add a little bit more depth, so I went in with the crease brush from that same Jasmine brush set and the line shade, and I ran that directly through my crease. Now onto the fun part, the glitter. I am using Jessie's Girl Pure Pigment Eye Dust, first in the shade Baby Blues, and the Naked Cosmetics Matte Eyeshadow Base. It's kind of more like a pomade to really help the pigment set and stick to your eyes. First, I run my brush. The brush I'm using here is the Detail brush from the Jasmine set, and because it's flat and dense, it's really great at packing on pigment like this. The taper tip especially makes it easy to get in my inner corner, like I just did with this first pigment. But then next, I'm actually going to put across the rest of the eye using that same brush. This is the Pure Pigment, once again from Jessie's Girl, in the shade Troublemaker. And so, like I did before, using that same Naked Cosmetics base, I'm patting that pigment all over the rest of my eyelid, working it up just to that barrier I created with those matte shadows in my crease. Then I went back into that crease brush and the deeper crease shade I used to sharpen up the crease. This brush in particular is really nice because it's tapered enough so that I can apply the color where I want in the crease without messing up any of that bright blue I just laid down. As you can see, I have already started on Jasmine's signature big old cat eye. For that, I'm using the liner brush in that same Jasmine set. And the reason I didn't flash a liner up here before actually showing the application is because I totally forgot my liner. So I'm using the old trick where you use your mascara instead. This brush is small enough to where you can really get a precise application even if you're using something that's a little thinner, a little more messy like mascara can be. So I'm just applying that pretty dramatically to my upper lash line. Now on to the mascara that I was actually using. It's the YSL Volume Effect Faux Cils, and it's a black formula, obviously. I applied a few good coats of that to just my top lashes. Moving on to the face, I am combining foundation, contour, highlight, all in one step, or at least using one product. This is the Anastasia Contour Cream Kit, and to apply that, I am using the brushes from the Ariel Magical Illusion brush set, the first of which is the Beauty Highlighting Brush, which I am actually using to contour. I went into the deepest shade in the set. I'm using that to contour the deepest parts of my cheekbone, down the sides of my nose, and underneath my mouth. Then I'm going into the slightly lighter shade, just a step up from deep, and I'm using that to go around the perimeter of my face. Next, I use the larger end of the Complexion Perfecting brush, and using the lighter shades, primarily the top middle and the pink tone shade, I am going in and applying that pretty much wherever else I need more coverage, like the middle of my forehead, just underneath my under eye area, and on my chin, and then right in the center of my nose to highlight. I went in with the smaller side of that brush, using that pink shade to really bring the center of my nose forward and make it look more chiseled. Now, I realize this looks scary, it always does, but this is where the magic happens. Kind of pun intended, because I'm using the Snow White Spellbound Beauty Sponge to blend everything out. And it might not seem like it now, but once I am done with this, everything will be seamlessly blended. I will have full coverage and I will be contoured and highlighted. So that's what I'm doing right now. Of all the sponges in the collection, this one is probably my favorite. I think the shape makes it perfect for getting in those tighter spaces like my under eye area and around my nose, but then you can also use the broader sides to roll and help buff and blend out any larger areas like your cheeks or your forehead. Another tip I have with the sponge is to wet it beforehand. This is a kind of sponge that will puff up really nicely when it's wet, which makes it really soft and easy to buff and blend things out, and it also keeps the sponge from absorbing more product than is actually on your face, which can always be annoying. Next up are the brows. I'm using IT Cosmetics Build-A-Brow Pomade and the Brow Brush and Spoolie combo from Jasmine's set, using that to fill and define my brows. Now, because the eyes are so bold, I wanted to keep the cheeks nice and subtle, so I'm using the Clinique Sculptionary Cheek Contouring Palette in the Defining Nudes, and I'm going into the lightest two shades in here and using the pink sponge from the Aurora Fairy Sponge 3-piece sponge set. I'm using that to roll it across the tops of my cheeks. I found that gave me a really nice and natural look. And last, I'm finishing the look off with the lips. As usual, this is NARS's Satin Lip Pencil in the shade Rikugien, and I'm just applying that all over. That's it for this look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this Jasmine-inspired tutorial. If you decide to pick up any of the Disney princess brushes or sponges from London SOHO New York, I would love to see your princess-inspired look. Be sure to tag me or use the hashtags BrushWithRoyalty or Disney Beauty so I can make sure to check them out. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.